Think pro wrestlers aren't really tough? Well, try to jump in the ring and find out. When fans came into the sacred performer space or otherwise crossed the line in their eyes, these wrestlers threw hands, for real. While his most famous real fights were with other wrestlers, CM Punk has gotten into it with a fan or two too. In October 2012, during his 434-day WWE Championship reign, Punk fled into the crowd after Ryback stopped him from delivering a go-to sleep to Vince McMahon. While Punk stood in the stands, a fan shoved him in the back of the head. Thinking he was swatting away whoever shoved him, Punk accidentally hit an innocent bystander. The man, whom HNL identified as Charles Schmidt, suffered slight bruises on his face and a broken pair of glasses.
Next thing you know, he comes at me, pops me, and my glasses go flying and I go down to the ground.
WWE publicly apologized, and Schmidt didn't press charges. In a statement on WWE.com, Punk discussed hearing calls among the stands to push him down the stairs and apologized as he, quote, lashed out in the heat of the moment. In 2014, Punk went on ESPN's Highly Unquestionable and talked about other run-ins he had with fans earlier in his career.
Fans tend to think they're part of the show and jump into the ring. I'd say I won my fair share of those.
Punk explained that the best way to get into the ring quickly is head first, which puts one in a position to easily get soccer kicked in the head. But he also added that he doesn't condone that. Macho Man Randy Savage was one of CM Punk's heroes, though it's not surprising there are similar stories about them accidentally hitting fans. In 1986, the family of a teenage girl sued Savage for giving her a concussion and a black eye. Savage was intending to punch a heckler. The family ended up getting a $6,000 settlement. The following February, the AP reported that Savage was accused of hitting a 9-year-old in the gut for caressing the hair of his then wife, Miss Elizabeth. The kid claimed he was reaching out for a high five, but was met with aggression by Savage, who called him a punk. In March 1988, another fan sued Savage, claiming the Macho Man assaulted him for tailing the former world champion and Elizabeth after a show. Upon asking for an autograph, Savage allegedly body-slammed and taunted him while he was down. On a February 1997 episode of Nitro, Savage cemented his loyalty to the NWO by helping the Outsiders after a beatdown to Diamond Dallas Page. Out of nowhere, a fan came into the ring. Savage and Scott Hall beat him down. The guy was finally thrown out by Kevin Nash and chased off by security. And on a May 1999 episode of Nitro, Savage attacked Nash and smeared red lipstick on his face. A fan came in and Savage immediately started throwing blows. He landed punches on everyone in sight, including event staff. Savage finally released the fan, who was carted off as Savage and Nash finished the angle. February 2009, cell phone footage circulated of Chris Jericho getting physical with a group of fans after a WWE house show in Victoria, British Columbia. The video shows a woman confronting Jericho. He shoved her, leading to a scuffle. Jericho also cursed at security, demanding that they do their jobs. The local newspaper reported that the fan and her boyfriend were arrested and released without charges. WWE issued a statement claiming Jericho asked the fans to move away from his car, and then they provoked him. A month later, PW Torch revealed that no one involved would be charged due to conflicting eyewitness accounts. 12 years later, in July 2021, Jericho had just entered the ring during the first touring AEW Dynamite after the COVID lockdown when a fan came in and removed his shirt. Security tackled the guy, but Jericho and even ring announcer Justin Roberts got some shots in. An irate MJF, who was already in the ring for a contract signing segment, challenged the fat white trash hicks in the Miami crowd to step in the ring so he could fight them. Wrestling headlines revealed the attacker was an internet troll. Jericho later said on the Zaslow Show podcast, "It happens, guys get drunk and want to be part of the show, but it's not a good idea." Before he became the Big Show in WWE, Paul White was known as simply the Giant in WCW. After quickly defeating Chris Adams on the June 15, 1998 episode of Nitro, White went back to his hotel in Uniondale, New York. At the front desk, a drunk local, Robert Sawyer, tried to talk up the 7-footer. White brushed him off, so Sawyer started hurling what Newsday described as loud, lewd comments and gestures at him in the crowded lobby. White tried to calm Sawyer down, but that didn't work. Witnesses claimed Sawyer shoved the former world champion, so he was met with a right-hand punch that broke his jaw. White ended up being charged with third-degree assault. He had to go to court in March 1999. a month after he jumped from WCW to the then WWF. Local news shared footage of White outside the courthouse, signing autographs for gathered fans. White was ultimately acquitted. The judge determined that Sawyer had instigated the fight. When the Outsiders and 6 of the NWO made a guest appearance on MTV Spring Break in March 1997, they hit the stage with water guns full of paint. 6 aimed his into the crowd, and someone responded by throwing back a rock. It hit Kevin Nash in the head. Enraged, Nash charged into the crowd and took down the culprit. Scott Hall said on camera they'll be pressing charges. Hosts Ed Lover and Dr. Dre laughed about it all later.
It was the best thing I ever seen in my life.
Nash later told kayfabe commentaries that the rock-throwing teenager and his father sought damages. They had failed to disclose to their attorneys that the young man was arrested and served community service for the incident. Nash was ordered by the court to pay $1 to the guy he tackled and to issue an apology, which he wrote in red crayon. Things can get pretty nuts on tour. Case in point, when Triple H was taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin at a live event during a tour of Germany in April 1998, a fan of D-Generation X ran into the ring and began attacking Austin. Triple H reacted quickly, putting the guy in a waistlock and taking him down. He then unloaded some punches at the fan while calling for security. Referee Mike Chioda also got in some stomps. On an episode of his podcast, Austin gave praise to Triple H for taking matters into his own hands. Austin didn't want to join in because he was a babyface, and it might be a bad look for him to do so. Austin also gave kudos to Chioda. Stone Cold added that sometimes wrestlers do have to break kayfabe when things get too real, saying, "When things go down in that ring, it's all hands on deck and everybody's together." In another example of international tour insanity, a fan came into the ring as Randy Orton was celebrating a win in Cape Town, South Africa in 2013. The guy hit Orton with a low blow. At first, Orton sold it. He probably thought it was an angle he hadn't been told about. But then the Viper saw that it was a fan. Security held the man down and Orton punted him in the head. Orton's defeated opponent, Big E, also got into it with the guy. The attacker was revealed to be a local kickboxer, Sheppo Sekabi, who went by Josie, the wrestling machine. He cut a promo on Orton with a black eye fresh from the attack, but he got a sentence instead of a match. After he pleaded guilty to assault, Sekabi was ordered to either pay a 500 Rand fine or serve a month in jail. In the end, he got a 3-year suspended sentence and was permanently banned from WWE events.
I think that's the first time that's ever happened, ever. So that wasn't a work, no? No. We pressed charges.
After a brief stint on the Indies and in rehab, Eddie Guerrero came roaring back to WWE in April 2002. Weeks into his comeback, he won the Intercontinental Championship from Rob Van Dam, kicking off his second reign with the title. In the main event of Raw that May, Guerrero faced Van Dam in a rematch, which was a ladder match. A fan wearing an Edmonton Oilers jersey ran in and pushed Guerrero off a ladder at one point as a dazed RVD watched. Luckily, Guerrero landed on his feet. He quickly went in on the fan, beating him down as ringside security ushered him away. In his autobiography, Cheating Death, Stealing Life, Guerrero had no other explanation for the fan pushing him off the ladder, besides that he must have been crazy. Like Orton, Guerrero thought the whole thing was a storyline he wasn't in on at first. He wrote that he thought the guy was Crash Holly doing a run-in. After security hauled off the fan, Guerrero didn't have time to process what had just happened. He just finished the match, which he lost. When he got backstage, Guerrero was greeted by Stephanie McMahon with a hug. He wrote that she said, "That's the Eddie we know and love." Fans can't even stay out of the ring during the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. When the Hart Foundation was getting inducted in 2019, someone came into the ring that was serving as the stage that night and tackled both Bret Hart and Natalya. According to CBS News, the attacker was known to have a criminal record, including stalking charges. The incident has been cut from the version that's available to stream now, and the live broadcast blacked out. But a big group of security guards and wrestlers jumped in to take the assailant down. They included Hart's nephew, Harry Smith, MMA fighter Travis Brown, and the tag team The Revival, now known as FTR in AEW. Fan footage caught Cash Wheeler in particular landing a solid punch on the guy. According to Sportskeeda, the attacker was handed over to the NYPD, who charged him with trespassing, assault, and interrupting a sporting event. The New York Post quoted the man as telling the police officers, "I just felt like it was the right moment," after being detained. Hart was checked into the hospital, citing discomfort in his newly replaced hip. FTR posted a now-deleted photo alongside Hart on Twitter later in the weekend. In a promo leading up to their tag team title match at WrestleMania 35, Dax Harwood referred to his partner as a knockout kind of guy. In October 2022, Hart managed FTR in a match versus Homicide and Jay Lethal for Big Time Wrestling in Brooklyn. In a November 2021 episode of Raw, Seth Rollins ensured his match with Finn Balor wouldn't happen by delivering 2 stomps to his would-be opponent before the bell rang. That was all planned. What wasn't, though, was a fan jumping the barricade and tackling Rollins as he made his way back up the ramp. Production covered up the chaos by showing replays and focusing on the beaten-down Balor. Media outlets identified the attacker as Elizar Spencer of Red Hook, Brooklyn. Barclays Center security released Spencer to the local police. The New York Post reported that he was charged with attempted assault and disrupting a sporting event. A New York Daily News report revealed that Spencer had met Rollins at a meet and greet. Spencer had hoped that the architect could help him get into the industry. Spencer had apparently DM'd a fake social media account posing as Rollins, which then scammed him. Spencer believed he had a legitimate beef with Rollins.
He was catfished online by somebody pretending to be me, I believe.
What?
Yep.
Oh, no.
There was some amount of money exchanged.
Rollins told TMZ that the incident happened very quickly and that he just hoped security could come in and break things up. Rollins didn't mention pressing charges, but suggested that the fan be barred from attending future events. Yet Spencer posted Instagram photos of himself at that week's SmackDown in Greensboro and attended WWE's annual Boxing Day show at Madison Square Garden only a month after the attack. Sabu was on tour with New Japan Pro Wrestling in June 1995, set to defend his IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against Black Tiger, who was Eddie Guerrero under a mask. While making his entrance, a fan ripped Sabu's keffiyeh off of his head. The keffiyeh wasn't just a gimmick for Sabu, it was a symbol of his heritage as a second-generation Lebanese American. So Sabu got mad. He leapt over the guardrail and delivered a beatdown to the fan he believed to be the culprit. He then jumped back over the railing, offered up a few choice words to the fan, and went to the ring for his match. On an episode of Keeping It 100%, Sabu revealed that the keffiyeh was an heirloom from his uncle, the original Sheik, who deemed him worthy of no longer having to ride on his coattails. To have his headdress torn off left Sabu embarrassed, prompting him to lash out. Unfortunately, the actual person who took the keffiyeh ran off with it while another fan was left to be the object of Sabu's ire. Sabu admitted that he felt bad after realizing he got the wrong guy. In May 2022, Intense Wrestling Entertainment hosted IWE3 in Augusta, Georgia. Heavyweight champion Joe Black took on New Age champion Anthony Henry in a title unification main event. Black won, leading he and his manager Tyreek to heelishly celebrate at ringside. Black knocked a fan's hat off and the fan did not take it well, responding with a headbutt. Security was quick to intervene, but fists began flying. Other wrestlers, including MLW's Cruel, tried to bring order. The guy who threw the headbutt, with his shirt torn and out of breath, was told to walk away. He made his exit. The incident gained national buzz for the regional indie. TMZ and other publications picked up the story. On the Jim Cornette Experience, Cornette compared the attack to sudden ringside brawls he saw firsthand and placed blame on all involved.
Whose fault was it that this happened?
Everybody! Everybody!
IWE tweeted an apology and thanked fans for attending. They announced new protocols to prevent future altercations. In an interview with Wrestling Inc., Black claimed the same fan had caused problems at previous events. During the show, the allegedly intoxicated fan hurled slurs at the heels. So Black flipping off his hat was a retaliation for that. Black also accused Cornette of sensationalizing the situation, saying, "He put his own spin on it. He made it carny. I don't respect that." In May 2018, Impact Wrestling and California's Big Time Wrestling co-promoted One Night Only Cali Combat. Among the talent on the part of the card that didn't stream online was Devin Danger, a regular on the regional independent scene most associated with his faction, Bite Club. While making his entrance with his tag team partner, Danger extended his hand to a little girl in the crowd for a handshake. In classic heel fashion, he pulled his hand back before the shake could happen, but he also spit his gum on the kid before going on with his entrance. As payback, the girl's father approached Danger from behind and began clubbing him. Event security broke it up. Danger later posted on X that he apologized to the family, claiming his gum landing on the girl was an accident. According to the Mirror, Danger's family was being threatened over the viral video of the incident. Danger also apologized to Impact and BTW, stating that the controversy had put a, quote, negative light on two promotions I not only respect but admire. Harry Smith gave his take on the incident on X, saying, well, you shouldn't spit on anyone, let alone a kid, and not expect them to fight you. In June 2019, Bad Dude Tito Escondido was booked in a 6-man tag team match at the Los Angeles Ale Works. The event was sanctioned by Bumps and Bruises, a promotion that holds shows in local breweries. Teaming with his stablemates, the Wolf Zaddies, to take on Killer Cross and the Lucha Homies, Tito noticed a drunken fan physically assaulting a woman in the crowd. Fan footage showed Tito leaving the ring and taking down the disorderly fan, grounding the attacker with his knee planted firmly on his temple. Police were called in and the assailant was removed from the open-air venue, allegedly fighting officers as he was taken away. That wasn't the first time Tito was used as athletic gifts to subdue a criminal. SoCal Uncensored reported Tito was responsible for taking down a local fleeing from police in 2018. Josh Barnett revealed that he and fellow IGF alum Eric Hammer are sparring partners with Tito, and the guy has legit grappling capabilities. Tito used his newfound publicity as a chance to further his career, posting on X that he would be taking bookings as Law Dog Sheriff Tito. Before he was a referee in WCW, Mark Curtis was a wrestler. He was 5'6" and skinny, so his career as a grappler didn't last very long. But he was a talented athlete and never lost the skills, even after he started refereeing. He proved it on a September 1997 episode of Nitro. Dean Malenko was facing off with Psychosis when a fan rushed into the ring. Curtis, who was officiating the match, sprang into action, striking the invading fan in the temple with a knee lift. Curtis then put the defenseless guy in a front facelock, totally immobilizing him. Malenko and Psychosis each got a kick in, while arena security took the fan away. Bobby Heenan observed that the smallest referee in the world had taken him down. According to Tony Schiavone and Jim Cornette, Curtis's quick thinking and impressive moves earned him the nickname Shooter in the locker room. A month after the match, Curtis was diagnosed with stomach and bowel cancer. He died nearly 2 years to the day of the incident, but that one moment made him immortal.